today is the day I've watched Waqaar and I's video and I want to start my investment. I've got £50, so we'll leave Waqaar's...
No, because they get free share as well.
Yeah, of course. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Assalamu alaikum.
So, welcome back to my channel. This is my husband, Waqaar, and we've done 2 videos already together on my channel, and they've always done... You always do really well on my channel.
Thank you.
Don't know why, but here we are. So we are today going to be talking all about investing. If you want to try and categorize us in how much we know about investing and we give ourselves a score out of 10, I'm going to say like I know 2 out of 10 maybe.
1.
Wow.
No, seriously, investing, especially investing in the stock market is...
Okay, and how about you?
I know. No. 4.
Basically what we're trying to say is we are not financial experts. Guy, he knows his stuff to a certain extent, but even then, like...
Yeah, everyone do your own research. Don't ever like go on anyone else's... You know, if I say invest in this and invest in this, don't. Just do your own research.
Well, we're not going to be saying that in this video anyway. We're not going to tell you who to invest in. Like, that's not the kind of channel this is, obviously. The intention of this video is because a lot of you guys were asking us to talk about investing, because I mentioned that I, in 2021, have started investing. But even then, I don't really know what's going on. I've given some of my salary monthly to Waqaar. For me, it's actually a really good way of saving money, because that chunk of money has been put to the side. I literally cannot access it now. It's been put into this investment, which we'll go into. But also the idea is that Waqaar is going to hopefully, inshallah, grow the stocks. Inshallah, I'm saying inshallah a lot here. Over a fairly, well, can you do a short period of time investing? Like, can you invest, take money out, or?
No, 100%.
Okay, cool. So you can. Yeah, so I don't really know too much about it, but what I do know is that every evening now, that's our conversation. It's all about the latest stocks, the latest news. So we are talking about it a lot, and I think it is very important in this day and age to be investing money, because you can't just rely on one stream of income. You know, my profession is a teacher, Waqaar is a business owner, but he's got multiple streams of income. I'm trying to grow that as well in my own way, you know, like with my little YouTube business, my photography business, and now also with investing. So I didn't go into this thinking I was gonna make loads of money, but it is something that's possible to do, right? Like, you don't have to be super knowledgeable to start investing.
No, not at all. You don't need to be super knowledgeable, but you need to be, if you're doing it yourself, you need to be clued on in terms of the market, read the news, you know, it doesn't take long, what, half an hour a day, just checking up on all the markets for the next day, or early morning, you know, check if any changes have happened or if there's any new news in the companies that you've invested in. The big factor which changes share price for every company, any news, like for example, there's a company in China, EV, you know, electric vehicle company called NIO. They recently announced that within 3 or 4 minutes, instead of charging your electric car for 40 minutes or 45 minutes to get up to 80%, you just go to one of the battery swap stations and they change your battery within 4 minutes and you have a range up to 400 again. Obviously that gained a lot of attraction. It was in the news. A lot of people invested in the company, which increases the share price.
Which made the company worth more.
Exactly. So if more people invested in the company, the stock price demand is higher, so the price increases as well. A lot can change with the stock price according to like the public's perception of that company. So if there's ever a scandal with the company always loses value. The stock price, you know, declines. Which
is why a lot of these companies, the people who own them, keep very private lives, because if they were to like publicize a lot of what's happening, possibly people would think, actually, I'm not gonna keep my money into their company. It's really interesting actually, because it is very much like how the whole world responds and reacts to your company is what kind of can build it up or pull it back down again. Maybe we've gone like a little bit too deep into this already, so let's go back a few steps. What exactly is investing? Let's start from the start.
Investing is basically allocating a specific amount of money with hope to increase that amount within a specific time period that you've set. So, you know, investing £10,000 and hoping that by me investing in this company, this business, I'll be able to get £20,000 within a year.
That's one way you can invest in a business. And then a way you can invest in yourself is like, if you're like me from England, we've got to pay for our university fees, but we know that by paying for university fees, we're going to have a qualification. That means that we'll have a step above on the job ladder than someone who doesn't have that qualification. For example, because I paid to get a PGCE, I can become a teacher anywhere around the world, whereas like if you wanted to be a teacher and you didn't have the PGCE, you can only get a teaching assistant job, right?
Exactly.
So that's the kind of investment in yourself. I would say I started investing in myself probably when I started university, which was when I was 18. How old do you think you were when you started investing in yourself?
When I started investing in myself?
Yeah, or like for your future.
For me, it started very young, slowly building. Investment could be anything. For example, I invest in, a laptop and with a plan to sell that laptop for a profit, but real investing into like property or a business probably is 17.
17. Okay,
17.
cool.
In the stock market, actually, I started investing when I was 16.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow, so you were really young. Were you not so confused by all the terms and...
Yeah, I was, but even at that time, you just Google everything. And to be honest, my first investment was a really good friend said, put some money into here and just trust me, he was putting a lot more than I was putting in.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, if he's putting that much, then, I'll trust him and I'll put it in.
Right, okay.
And within like 6 weeks, that paid off and I got like quite a bit of money.
So that must have been a nice feeling. But
Really nice.
You say trust. So are you saying that investments have a risk then?
Yeah, every investment has a risk. Any company could technically go bankrupt.
So are we talking specifically about stock market investing? Although I guess in a way, yeah, even a university degree could have a risk to it because you could get a job. You could get a job that you don't even need that degree for, and then you pay all that money for nothing.
Or you can fail the course.
Or you can fail the course and still have to pay the money. Exactly. So
every investment
has a risk.
That's why before you invest, you do like a risk assessment.
I think though, I feel like from conversations that we've had recently, just with other people, I think some people are more risk adverse and some people are more willing to just take the risk. And I feel like you are very willing to take risks. Would you agree?
The more you risk, the more you gain.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's feel like, oh, you're playing with a lot of money there. But then, is investing similar to gambling in that sense?
My personal opinion.
Wait, hang on. Did you guys hear that aside? Carry on.
No. See, do you know what? It's confusing. So some people say it is, some people say it's not. But I spoke to my local Imam Sahib, and he said if you're investing in a company with understanding of that company, you believe that company is going to increase in value for X, Y, and Z reason, then it's not gambling. Gambling would be where you're just throwing money into a company and just hoping it increases. It doesn't work like that. For Muslims anyway, like if we want to keep it investing in the stock market and gambling separate, we want to invest in companies that we actually believe that are going to expand, then we've actually used our brain to think, and we've got a reason to invest in that company, not just with a hope. So it'd be the same thing as gambling. You just invest in you just put some money on a bet and hope that your bet comes out. Yeah. So
but obviously investing in companies to do with alcohol, companies to do with haram things, that's obviously
also haram as well.
Haram. But investing in companies that are like any other company that's halal, let's say.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine.
And that's obviously in our opinions, but please talk to your sheikhs, scholars, if you're unsure about that. Because we've got 1 or 2 comments in our last video about renting versus buying, and we just want to put it out there. We are not religious advisors. Just wanted to clear that up. Okay, cool.
Just like in the stock market, there's a very common, everyone says to everyone, do your own due diligence. Same with this, do your own due diligence.
Absolutely.
No one should be accountable for your actions. You're accountable for your actions.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we've talked about what investing is. We've established that there's loads of different ways you can invest, and some of you guys probably didn't realise you'd invested in yourselves already. And Waqaar, you've got a few different streams of investments, and we both strongly believe that you should try and have more than one stream of income, which is why this year I really wanted to make it a point of getting myself into investing, and Waqaar wants to get back into investing. You were into stocks before, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in, like I said, when I was like 16 to 18, 19, yeah. And then from 19, I started to concentrate on other things.
On your businesses and stuff?
Yeah, so I didn't really get the time to do it. Just recently, I wanted to start to get back into it, especially when so much uncertainty in the world. I believe it's a good time to invest because everything's down. Everything will recover, inshallah. But it'll take time, but everything's down.
But what does that mean, everything's down? Remember, you're talking
everything's down means basically all the stock prices, well, not all, that's a lie. Majority of stock prices have dropped. Like, you know, things that will recover, like
hotels,
hotels, you know, travel companies, you know, aviation companies.
So all of these industries have been affected by the pandemic, essentially. So their shares, their value has come down, and their stock prices have come down too. Please correct me if I'm saying anything wrong, because, like I said, I know like one out of 10, okay? But all of these will come down, which means that it's quite a good idea now to start putting some spare money into these companies. And then, inshallah, when everything starts reopening again, your money is going to be worth way more than it was. So you make a return on your investment, essentially. Okay, cool. So we talked about how anyone can invest. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about, this video is not sponsored, but we are using the app Trading 212. Now, when you actually go onto this app, is it really complicated? Like, be honest. Like, if I was to try and do it myself, do you think I could do it?
I'd only use Trading 212 if I was investing up to like 5,000, where I use other stockbrokers for like more like long-term investments. So if you're planning to invest more than 5,000, I'd recommend Interactive Investor, III. They're pretty good. Or HL. These charge you like a monthly fee of like £10 a month. You buy or sell every transaction, they charge you as well, but they're a lot more secure than Trading 212. But Trading 212 is a good starting point for, you know, beginners. For example, Trading 212, if there's a company that's about to pop, a lot of like beginners will go and try to buy that company.
Right, okay.
And you know, there's too much traffic on the app, and they can't handle it.
Right,
so it's like connection loss, server, this, that, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So I wouldn't invest more than £5,000 into Trading 212.
But it's a good place for beginners then.
It's a good place for beginners because it's easy to read. It'll show you some like pie charts as well that you can invest in.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Cool. Imagine that you are someone watching this video and you've never invested before in your life, but you're like, today is the day. I've watched Waqaar and I's video and I want to start my investment. I've got £50. Is that, first of all, is £50 enough to start investing with?
The investment works on basically percentages. For example, if you invest £50 into a company and the company within 2 weeks, you know, doubles in value, so, you know, is it a 100% increase? That £50 turns into £100. But in that same company, if you had invested £1,000, you would have made £2,000. So £50 is like a small starting budget. To be honest, it's difficult. It's difficult to like make, you know, if you're making 10% on £50, that's £5. So £55, and then you're selling that company and going into another company, making another 10%. That's, you know, £60, and then you're losing like 10%. So you're back down to 54. So to be honest, I'd say like start to invest with like about around £500.
If possible, but
if possible, yeah. £50, it will take some time to like increase that. Or you can, you know, put £50 a week or £50 a month or whatever. The more the money, the faster it grows, basically. That's what stocks, you know, work on. They work on percentages.
Do you know what's really annoying? So I've been giving Waqaar, I don't mind saying this, so I've been giving Waqaar £250 a month. And he's been very cautious with it. So he's been putting in like £4 here and £6 here. And then he's been like, look at the increase on this one. If you'd put in £50, you would have got this much back. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing it, am I? That's you.
See, that's the difficult thing with investing with like such a low small
amounts
budget.
Of money. Yeah.
You know, you want to invest in so many different companies, but if you've not got the funds to put like a decent amount in, then, you know, but slowly you build it up. Like I said, it's taken me like 2 to 3 weeks to turn that £600 into about just over 1,000.
Alhamdulillah. New MacBook, here I come.
But it's not much. But for example, you know, that 600, if I had like £6,000 to invest in, and that same formula, you know, £4,000 it would have been the increase.
And I think that is quite a lot, actually, if you think about it. Like, it's either going to be £600 sitting in my bank account in a savings account, or it's going to be £600 that's now, alhamdulillah, been, like, not doubled, but very close to doubled. And I've not had to, well, I personally haven't had to do anything, and you have done work. So let's talk about how much work it takes to actually invest. Would you say it's like a part-time job?
No, I wouldn't say it's a part-time job. Just less than a part-time job. Maybe take out like 2 hours a day.
Realistically, do you think you spend 2 hours a day?
Yeah.
I feel like you spend more than that. Yeah, I feel like you spend about 4 hours a day.
Basically, before I sleep, I watch and read up for about half an hour, and during the day, like when the stock market opens, just check up on a few things.
What? Did you just say the stock market opens?
Yeah, so stock market's Monday to Friday for about 8 hours.
Right, okay.
Roughly about 8:30 in the morning.
How come it's not open 24 hours?
Because it's not. Like the stock market closes on a Friday.
Interesting, okay.
And it opens on a
So
Monday morning.
you can only make trades within that time?
Yeah, but you can put pending orders, but I wouldn't advise doing that, because then they choose what price they want to give it to you at. And normally, the next morning, the first half an hour, like a stock price jumps or really falls. It's better to buy a stock or a share in a company when the market's live.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, in the UK, it's like 8 till 3:30, I think.
Oh, my working hours.
Yeah, but that's why I like to invest in like the American stock market, which for us in the UK is like 2:30 till 9.
Another question. So you're saying the UK stock market and American stock market, is that basically just UK companies and American companies?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And can you not make the same amount of money from UK companies that you can from American companies?
No, you can make. It's just suited to me.
Right, okay, for your times. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you can choose one that fits your lifestyle. Also, does every single country in the world have a stock market?
Majority do. I think there's a few that don't.
Okay.
But the majority
That's
do.
cool to know. Alright, awesome. So basically, we've established that you don't need a large amount of money, but as much as you can sort of comfortably put in is advisable.
One thing I would say is that when investing in the stock market, whatever you put in, never put in some, an amount that you need. They say this is all, everyone says that only invest in the stock market that you're willing to lose. So that something that you're allowed to put in, that you're, if you lose it all, then it won't be affecting your family or your life.
You know why he's laughing? Because it's the first time I've heard this. a cha.
No,
right.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. And I in my head, I knew that.
When's the last chance that, a stock price went from, $60 down to zero? It'll be a decline.
So with that being said, that's why I haven't said to Waqaar, oh, here's my big chunk of my salary, go and invest it all. I've given him a comfortable amount. You have to be sensible with your own money. But what I've learned very quickly since this started is that, well, first of all, that every day is different. Some days Waqaar is like, woohoo, this is an increase. And some days it's like, oh, no, the total is this. But it all depends on the world, really. Could you be a really bad trader? Could you make really bad choices and just lose all your money? Right, so that's why I'm not doing it myself. But I think if I really put my mind to it and was watching the same people and researching the same way that Waqaar was, I think I could do it. So I think it does depend on your determination and your willingness to learn about this industry.
The only bad decisions you could make is basically just gambling, just throwing money out there in companies that you don't think that are going to increase. Mm-hmm. But you can, it's not a guaranteed thing, but you can invest in companies that you can read their financials every year. Their financials, how much money they're making, are they increasing? For example, are they doing well? For example, it's not 100%. It's not a given, but Airbnb, for example, just went on the stock market. Now, if you look at Airbnb's earnings from 2016 until 2020, you can see their increase every year. Obviously, it's the pandemic right now, but you know that they are going to increase. Airbnb is a massive thing now. Booking.com is not as big as it used to be. So that's a company where you think, what, I can put some money in that, and in 5 years' time Airbnb is going to be big. But then also you have to evaluate that Airbnb might have some regulations where just now anyone can rent out a room to anyone, where governments might put regulations in. If they put regulations in, the stock price slightly decreases.
Yeah.
But for example, like Tesla, up and coming by 2030, I think, so many countries in the world by 2030, they only want to be selling electric cars. Now, if they only sell electric cars, there's more sales for companies like Tesla. If there's more sales for companies like Tesla, the stock price is going to increase. If the stock price increase, if you've invested in that, your portfolio increases within that company. So, as long as you're doing your due diligence, like they say, you're doing your own research, you're using, common sense,
yeah,
then
you should be okay.
You should be okay,
yeah. Like, another interesting thing was that I've used this company, Fiverr, for years now. I use them to make my logo. Always use a professional Fiverr to make my intros. And Waqaar recently put a little bit of the money that I invested into Fiverr, and that's actually gone up a very, very small amount, but it's gone up. And that's because more people are at home, more people are trying to start their own digital businesses, online businesses, and that's a really good way for freelancers to get out there. So that's their values increasing. So it's really cool how it actually is so affected by the world around us. Okay guys, so hopefully this video has been helpful for you. We're going to end it on a few of the keywords that Waqaar thinks you and me should know when you're coming to starting investing. And also, please let us know in the comments below if you are thinking about investing your money. I think it's such a sensible thing to do, especially with the current state of the world. It's just good to have more opportunities of income, and even if it's making a small amount. Oh, one question I wanted to ask you was, would you personally, this is not like an unofficial terms or anything, but would you personally consider investing in the stock market as passive income?
Yeah.
Even though you have to do work for it, so. No,
the thing is, with Iqra's account, I'm investing in a lot of like small companies. The smaller the company, the more volatile it is. So it's like penny shares. They can go from 1 pence up into 5 pence within a day, and they could drop from 10 pence down to 1 pence within a day as well. But with my own portfolio, I've invested in.
Sorry, do we all just hear that? Waqaar is using my portfolio for the volatile penny shares.
No, but the thing is, like, for yours, I'm just like trying to, make it faster.
Basically, guys, I want a new laptop, right? And and I could save up the money for it, or I could try and invest money into getting this laptop and try get some more money out of it. So I'm not doing this investment at the moment for long time, whereas Waqaar, you're investing your money for
so you can put it into
years.
So like I'm up to date with the companies I've invested in for like high growth for like my own portfolio. I've put a decent amount of money in, and I've just left it there, and I think these companies are going to go up in the next up to 5 years, next 2 to 3 years especially. So I've not really even went on to that up. I've just left it there, but I'm up to date with the prices and the news of them companies. But if you want to do like day trading and weekly trading, then you have to check it a lot.
So if you've got more money to play with, it's probably more of a passive form of income.
Yeah.
And if you've got less money to invest, but you just want to get your foot in the door.
For example, you give £600. If I was to invest £600 into a company, with my aim is to double it by the end of the year, I'm only making £600 for 12 months.
Yeah.
Where I've made you £400 in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
It's a lot more work.
Yeah, but then the reward can be higher, and the risk can also be greater.
The risk is 100% greater.
So that's definitely.
The thing is, smaller the company, and this is where, like, for example, market cap basically means how much the company is worth. Anything under 1 billion is basically classed as a penny share.
Really?
Yeah. Any company that's worth less than $1 billion is classed as a penny share. So you want to know how much the company is worth.
Okay. Another question is every single like well-established company, like for example Argos or H&M or New Look, are they all on the market?
No.
Right.
For example, Airbnb's, it just came on the market a month ago.
So what makes a company go on the market?
What makes a company go on the market is if they're like a public limited company. They allow public to invest in that company. If it's a private limited company, a PLC, then just they have private investors. They still have a lot of shareholders within that company.
Okay.
But it's private, Now, if they want the public, and a lot of companies do it to raise funds.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So when they go on, when they go onto the stock market, they're gaining a lot more, like raising a lot of funds, like in the billions at times. But there's always like companies coming on and off the stock market. Some companies go bankrupt, they come off the stock market. Some of the people that I watch that are, more educated than me, and even they say, still do your own due diligence, is Stockmo on YouTube. I've been following him for some time, and for when he was down to when he was at like 25,000 subscribers. Now he's at 300 and something. He's really good. Watch he shows you his portfolio, how much he invests in, what company and what the up and coming news is. He releases like 2 videos a day, 3 videos a day sometimes. So I watch him a lot. There's a guy called Umar Ashraf. He's Instagram and YouTube. He releases a lot as well. So watch them. People that are more educated. Basically, go to someone that knows more than you to learn from. Basically. But other than that, there's so many more YouTubers. YouTube is just an easier way of gaining some understanding of the markets and stuff, because you can just play it and have it in the background and stuff. But other than that, you can go on the Wall Street Journal, you can go on Google, you can find out about up and coming companies and stuff like that. These are the two main people that I watch and listen to. Try to get some companies from them, and then do my own research on them companies, see if I want to invest in them companies or not.
Yeah, so as you can see, from what Waqaar is saying, it does take time, it does take effort, but it's something you can do from the comfort of your own home, and you don't need like £7,000, £8,000 to get into this. Literally, I put in £600 and I've seen an increase. Now, what I want to know is that if next week I wanted to see that all that money in my account, could that happen?
Yeah, you can sell all your shares and take the money out.
Okay, so it's quite simple to do that. Okay, so basically that's our investment 101 video. Hopefully we've answered some questions. If you want more of an in-depth look into how an app works, for example, we could possibly do that. Also on Trading 212, when you register for it, they give you like a demo account, which gives you like £50,000 on the demo account, but you're investing in companies that are real companies. Like, you're investing in the stock market with the £50,000 they've given you. Obviously, it's not real money. Yeah, but it's a demo, but you're able to gain some understanding about how to invest. That's really good. So you're not risking your own money straight away. That's really good. So I advise people to spend a month, 2 months on just demo accounts, some of the companies that you've invested in, understand fully, because there's a lot of ways to buy and sell as well. Yeah. You can put limit buys on, for example. If the stock price reaches a certain amount, then trigger the buy. Or you can buy straight away, where it's like a buy order. So whatever the price is right now, I'll buy it. Well, a couple of ways of buying is you could sit as a buy order. Whatever the stock price is this second, I'll buy it. Or you could put like a limit buy on, where basically it means when it's if Tesla's at 850, as soon as it reaches 840, that amount, you tell the app to buy it. So the demo account's good that it shows you different ways of buying each stock as well, and selling each stock. You can put a stop loss on. Stop loss basically means if, for example, Tesla, again, I'll just use that. If Tesla's at 850 and it drops under 800, it automatically sells for you. Okay. So it's a stop loss gap. So basically, you're not losing too much. Some people have, these rules that if a company's dropped 20%, they want to sell it straight away because they don't think that the company can recover from that. So the demo account's really good because you're able to get used to the app before you start investing your own money into the companies, but you're still investing in the companies that are only active between the trading hours of Monday and Friday. So yeah. Cool. I did not know about the demo accounts. That's really good because it means that you can have a bit more of an understanding before you actually start putting your own money into it, which is cool. Anyone wants to use my referral code, you get a free share, I get a free share. So I'll put down the link. Put it down in the description. So we'll leave Waqaar's. No, because they get a free share as well. Yeah, of course. That's like generally the point of sharing your code. And it's valued to like up to £100, so it's not bad.
They get a share valued up to 100. If you're going to download it anyway, then you might as well
use the link and get something from it as well.
Get something from it, because you can get a share valued up to £100.
That's awesome. So I guess my last thing is that, like, if you're watching this and you are considering investing and you have a little bit of knowledge now, what we would say is do more research. There's way more YouTubers out there who've made a lot more videos than we have about this. I wanted Waqaar to come and sort of strip it down to basics as much as possible. We're not sure if we have, because we've restarted this video like 3 times. So honestly, at this point, we don't know what we said and what we haven't. But I always refer back to Patricia Bright as well. Like, she strips things down right to basics as well. I know she's got a video all about investing, so I'm going to leave that down below as well. But yeah, we hope you found this video useful, and we are going to be filming a couple of different. These are like more educational videos. Waqaar wants to do videos that are like educational and helpful and all this stuff, and I'm thinking we should do challenges and things. So if you want to see Waqaar and me do a challenge, leave that down below as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, thanks so much for watching. You guys know what to do. If you haven't given it a thumbs up already, give it a thumbs up.
Happy investing.
Happy investing, exactly. I'm sure we wish you the best of success if you do start investing. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye then.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Bye.